All right, so we're gonna cram this all into one video because once again, I got some stuff I gotta do on this bye week. So we're gonna start it off. Where was a Thursday night game? Chicago won 25-20 over Minnesota. New Orleans beat Philadelphia 48-6. Denver helped us out and beat the Chargers 23-22. Raiders finally got a win. They beat Arizona 23-21. Pittsburgh won 20-16 at Jacksonville. They had the whole game and then choked at the end. Sorry, I got a text message I got to answer. Okay, we're good. All right. So, Houston ended up beating Washington 23-21. Alex Smith fractured his leg. It's hard to hear that one, but he did. He's out for the season. The Giants beat the Buccaneers 38-35. The Colts beat the Titans 38-10. Lions beat the Panthers 20-19. That one's kind of laughable. The Ravens beat the Bengals 24-21. The Cowboys beat the Falcons 22-19. And Seattle got a win over Green Bay 27-24. And of course, tonight on the Monday night game, the Rams beat the Chiefs 54-51. So that's that week. The only thing to really take note is Pittsburgh didn't lose, so that didn't help us because that would have dropped them to 3 losses. Even though we got the tiebreaker there, it still keeps their distance. And the Chargers got put in a massive hole by losing to Denver because now that forces Kansas City to lose the next 2 out of 3 division games, which are both against the Raiders and 1 against the Chargers. The Chargers can't win in the AFC West, and the Raiders are simply the Raiders. So that's about that, honestly. The Patriots had a bye week this week, so there's nothing to say about them. New Orleans still staying red hot. Green Bay's kind of going down the drain. Carolina lost to the Lions. It's just okay, I guess. The Carolina's slowly shooting themselves in the foot again this year, like they always do. Regardless that they've had 2 winning seasons, whatever. Before that, it was just up and down and up and down. They'd be really crappy, then they'd be really good. Really crappy, really good. Let's see. Week 12 picks. Okay, you got the Bears and the Lions on Thursday night. I got the Bears. It's in Detroit, but I got the Bears. Redskins and Cowboys. I honestly think the Cowboys going to take this game. Alex Smith isn't in there anymore. Falcons at Saints. Falcons aren't winning in the Superdome. Saints will beat them. Browns at Bengals. That's a convincing one. Bengals are at home, but hey, I'm going to take the Browns. Why not? Kansas City's on bye week this week, so why not take the Browns? 49ers and Buccaneers. I got the 49ers, even though it's at Tampa Bay. Jaguars at the Bills. I don't know what to pick there. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. Raiders at the Ravens. Ravens are going to kill that team. Seahawks at Panthers. It's at Carolina. I'm going to take Carolina just because they're undefeated, but they'll probably lose. At home, they're undefeated. Patriots at Jets. Patriots. Giants at Eagles. Who cares, really? I'm going to take the Eagles because they're at home. Cardinals at the Chargers. Chargers. I highly doubt they lose that game, but, it's possible. Arizona's been playing decent defense. They lost to the Raiders, but I don't think the Chargers are that much better than the Raiders. They're better, but not that much. Dolphins at Colts. I got the Colts. Steelers at Broncos. Got the Steelers. Denver is a hard place to play, but the Steelers are the Steelers. Hopefully the Broncos beat them. That would help us out if the Broncos beat them, but I obviously got to take the Steelers. Packers at Vikings. Don't really care about this one either, but I'm going to take the Vikings. because they're at home. And then, of course, the Titans at the Texans. I don't know who you pick here. The Texans are rolling, but the Titans are kind of up and down. I'll take the Texans because they're at home. But that's about it for that week. Bunch of random games that who knows what's going to happen. Gosh, I don't even know who Kansas City's next game is. Week 13. Oh, I bet you it's Oakland. Bet me. It is. It's at Oakland. Woo! Okay, yeah. Okay, Andy Reid's great coming off the bye. He's even better when he's playing Oakland, and they got 2 wins on the season. If we win this division game, then the Chargers are basically going to have to pray to God that they win out and Kansas City loses out in the division. And that's the only hope they're going to have at catching the division. However, let's see, Chargers, where are the Chargers? Chargers play the Steelers. Well, they can't really lose that game, but I guarantee you they're going to, because it's at Pittsburgh too. Gosh, if they lose that game, that'd put us 2 games ahead on overall record, let alone the division. If we win and they lose, let's see who they got the next week. Chargers, they got the Bengals. So if we win next week, I think week 15 is when we play the Chargers. So if we win this next divisional game against Oakland in week 13, they are forced to beat us at Kansas City. And what is this, week 15? And then they are forced to hope that we lose to Oakland in the last game of the season. That's how it's going to ride. That's how that bicycle is going to go down the road. And they also have to hope that they don't lose any of these games. They got Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Gosh, who are they playing in this next game? Who they got this week, I already forgot. Chargers. Oh, yeah, they got the Cardinals. So, defensively, I could see the Cardinals beating the Chargers, but the Cardinals' offense really isn't good enough. So, I think they'll win next week. But if they lose this Pittsburgh game, it's going to be rough riding for them, especially if we beat Oakland that week, too, that same week. It's going to be really hard for them to recover if that happens. Which I could see the Chargers losing by 10, 17 points in Pittsburgh. The Bengals, they might beat the Chargers. I don't know. It just depends on which Cincinnati team shows up to play, really. But, yeah, I mean, that's basically that. I mean, that's about all there is to say when it comes to, our division. We can go to standings here and look at this and see what comes out of it. Let me get down here. AFC West, okay. So we're going on our bye week. So if they win next week, they'll be 8-3, and Kansas City will be 9-2. However, if we beat Oakland and they lose to Pittsburgh, we're going to go to 10-2. They're going to drop down to 8-4. And that's really going to be rough on them. And that would also put us at, let's see, where is it? 3. That would put us at 4-0 in the division, and they would be at 2-2. So you can kind of see how that plays out. They would have to go into Kansas City and beat us, which they've been blown out the last 3 out of 4 times in Kansas City. They'd have to beat us and then hope that Oakland beats us on the last game of the season. So if we come off this bye week and beat Oakland, and let's say even they do beat Pittsburgh, it still puts them in a hole in the division. Now, if they lose to Pittsburgh, they lost the tiebreaker to us anyways, even if we do tie. Actually, let me do some mathematics on that for a second. Because Pittsburgh's got the we got the tiebreaker between Pittsburgh. So if the Chargers lose to Pittsburgh, we've already beat Pittsburgh. So even if they tie with the same division record as we do, we beat Pittsburgh and they didn't. So if we beat Oakland, we can clinch the division. If we beat Oakland and they lose to Pittsburgh, we can clinch the division that way. Unless, oh man, that hold on real quick. Let me get on this. And let me look up. Okay. So, we have the Raiders, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Seahawks, and then the Raiders again. That's the remainder of our schedule, and we got Eric Berry coming back off the bye. I'm going to tell you right now, Eric Berry comes back, that defense is going to go from here to here. A lot of these deep balls are going to stop. A lot of these man-to-man getting beat on coverages is going to stop because he's going to be there. So that's great news. That's amazing. That probably made my night. Let's say we beat Oakland and they lose to Pittsburgh. They could beat us. Let's say the Chargers win out, right? They lose to Pittsburgh, but they win out. So that means they would be, if the Chargers lose to Pittsburgh and win out, they would end up being 12-4. And let's say that our only loss is to the Chargers from here on out. That puts us at 13-3. Okay? So we still have the overall record on them. Yeah, we still have the overall record on them. And there was a tie between the two games. We won one, they won one. But they also didn't beat Pittsburgh like we did. We could lose to Seattle. Because they beat Seattle. That could make a difference. But the overall record is going to say otherwise. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out when we could technically clinch the division. If we beat the Chargers, that division is clinched, regardless of what happens to Seattle and Oakland. Because if we beat the Chargers, that's going to drop them to, say they lose to Pittsburgh. Even if they don't lose to Pittsburgh, let's say they beat Pittsburgh, but they lose that game to us, that drops them to 2-3 on the division, and there's no way we can lose 3 divisional games. So if we beat the Chargers, we clinch the division, essentially. Let's see, they got the Cardinals this week. Oh, no, sorry, that would... Yeah, that'd put them at 8-4 at that point. If they beat the Cardinals and then lost to the Steelers. But they still got to beat Cincinnati. They still got to beat us at home. And they still got to beat the Ravens. So we could technically clinch this division really fast, honestly. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see how that goes. Let's see, what was that? Oh, that's right. Seattle had to lose and LA had to win to clinch that division. So Seattle won. So that means they don't clinch it, but the Rams aren't far off, obviously. They're leading that division, no problem. But that's about it, really. So the Cardinals could help us out. I definitely think they're going to lose to Pittsburgh. It's in Pittsburgh. If they lose that game, we beat Oakland. And say we beat the Ravens, that would make us 11-2. And then they'd come to Kansas City, and it would be a must-win game for the Chargers to beat us at home. And if they lose that game, that's definitely it. That's it. The AFC West is ours again. So this game right here is going to hinge everything unless we lose to Oakland. If we lose to Oakland, it is a open ball game at that point. We're gonna have to play it out till the end of the season. But if we win this game off the bye week, and you know Eric Berry loves the Raiders, he loves them, he loves beating them up, and you know Eric Berry's gonna play like he's got a stick on fire near his ass, because that's how Eric Berry plays. Especially in his first game coming back, he's gonna make a statement. So if we win that one, and then the Chargers come to town, we beat them. It's done. AFC West champions, week 16. Done. So that's that. I'm going to call this a video. Thanks for watching.